Hello, my name is Zachary Caton, and I'm a social work major here at Nazareth College. Now, the reason why is because I spent a lot of years after I was 18 going to different colleges, transferring back and forth, trying to find which major worked for me. I was just like one of those kids who went to college. I went to Potsdam. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to be the person to change their major. I originally wanted to go for secondary education history. So it's a funny thing that I found myself in social work. Now, I feel like the major found me. I almost went to school for nursing when I moved to Rochester in 2014, but I got comfortable and I worked in a hospital and realized that wasn't the type of person-centered care I wanted to do. Now, I was more of a person who wanted to be people's friends, learn about them, learn new things, culture myself to their kind of needs and what they think is right and what they think is wrong. I try to keep an open mind. It's one of my strengths, I believe, that I can hear anything and not feel like uncomfortable. I understand that people have different views and different upbringings, and I think everyone should be respected equally for their opinions. But in this field, it's a little bit different. We try to promote to keep people with an open mind, keep them genuine, keep them culturally aware, because there's so many different people out there that deserve the same respect as everyone else. And even though some people can't understand that, the rest of us can try our best to educate them and get the job done and make sure at least someone is there advocating for those people who need it most. Now, I feel like my experience in my life, I had one of those childhoods that was life-changing and a little dysfunctional family stuff going on, but I have a few personal issues going on that make me feel like I'm actually stronger in the field because I'm 25 years old. I didn't go straight to social work. I bounced around from towns. I've dealt with many relationships that changed me and adjusted me to the person I am today. And what I believe is that my experience here at Nazareth College has helped me explore those things and really open up and really find a way to identify myself with who I am as a social work major. I've had a long road. 25 years old sounds like it's a young age, but I swear it feels like I'm 40 by the way my body feels and the way my mind is exhausted. I can't wait to finish school because then I can apply myself and all my effort to a job that I love to do. Now, my experience at Naz and my classes, I learned a lot from the human behavior classes, but my favorite ones were the diversity ones, and on top of that, now that I think about it, the fieldwork experience class is definitely the most educational thing I've dealt with. Now, my teacher for that class, it was Human Behavior 3. I was with Professor Shirley Sharp, who was also my advisor, and she taught us how to apply ourselves and taught me one of the most important lessons that I never figured out is that silence is a good thing and it can be constructive, and it usually ends with somebody talking from the other side and not ourselves. The more they open up, the more you engage with them, the more they will share their experiences with you so you can get down to the underlying issues to help make their life better and make a change for themselves, empower them, and make sure they have the skills and tools needed to solve problems on their own, because we may be able to fix one thing for them, but when something else comes up, you may not be there to help with that problem, because a lot of things in life hit you hard and hit you fast. And sometimes we're not just a phone call away. When you have a session every week or every 2 weeks, it's kind of hard to stay on top of the issues that they might deal with, which is why empowerment and the strength-based perspective approach is the best way to approach this. And in the 2 fieldwork experience I had, one was at ROC Achieve Charter School, and I worked with children in group and individual one-on-one counseling, and I realized that silence is a great thing because kids love to talk. And when they don't, that's when it's an obvious reason that there might be something underlying that makes them act that way. I saw a lot of different behaviors at this school. I saw a lot of different kids with different backgrounds, different issues, but sadly a lot of them were kind of the repeat of the same old thing. Problems at home, family dysfunctions, kids are walking to school in the snow, and sometimes even in a middle school, which ROC Charter Achieve was, people weren't showing up. The new rule, of course, in most schools is if you live within a mile of school, you have to walk, but not a lot of these parents have vehicles to transport their kids to school, and a lot of them work. Living in poverty, a lot of times you see single parents holding down jobs. I mean, the median household salary in Rochester is sitting around $32,000. And a lot of social workers make more than that on their own. Even in this field that pays just dandy to everyone who puts their full effort into people, and we definitely get the pay that's deserved for that. Now, After ROC Achieve, I had a huge directional change, and I worked at Francis Center. Apologies, I'm currently there. I worked as an intake coordinator, and I worked as someone who was just there for them. And a lot of times in this field, people get a little burned out, especially with the homeless population, which is the shelter I was working at. But even though I didn't have a social work role, every time someone came into my office for an intake, it became a social work opportunity. And sometimes you learn that engaging with people, which is another one of my strengths, is also a way to looking to the right time to strike. It sounds a little aggressive, but it's about when you learn to when it's time to listen and when it's time to apply yourself, your knowledge, your educated information of this person in order to build a relationship and make things for the better and start moving in the right direction. Now, these gentlemen just appreciate someone that wants to listen to them. And it's about going outside the questions. It's about talking around the questions and learning the answers through a conversation that's more genuine and not structurally oriented to repeat the same thing over and over again.